Well, hello there, and welcome to this episode of Grow Wealthy Grooming. I am your host, River Lee. I am the founder of the Savvy Groomer, where I teach pet professionals how to build a business on their terms. So let's go ahead and get into today's topic. Today we're going to be talking about once a year, I don't think so. So really quickly, I wanted to touch on what a once a year or a twice a year client is. Sometimes in the forms you'll see OAY or TAY. Hey Peter, great to see you live. So a once a year or twice a year client is generally a client who literally comes in to be groomed once a year, generally around the holidays or for their summer shave, or you're going to see that person that comes in twice a year. My family growing up, we were not religious, but we had family members that were religious, and it was like the Catholics that went to church Easter and Christmas, but not the rest of the year, right? Now, with pet grooming, I want you to think about it this way. We want them to come on a regular schedule. It's a lot easier to have them be groomed on a regular schedule because their behavior is better. They are emotionally more prepared for it. It's not something... I like the phrase, someone said it, and I'm not sure who. I wish I could give them credit. If you guys know who said it, please let me know. That a pet that's groomed once a month, it's a part of life. A pet that gets groomed once a year, it's a punishment. And from a pet's perspective, the best way someone ever explained it to me, hi kitty, if you're going to come to my lap, come on. Don't mind him. Anyway, I digress. So if if every 7 dog years is 1 human year, that means that every 8 weeks is emotionally 1 dog year. And considering the fact that very often people only bring the pet in once a human year, that means that it is emotionally 7 dog years. If I hadn't gone to the dentist in 7 years, I would forget everything that I have to do. Now, I personally like to see a pet on every 4 weeks. The reason I think it's better for the groomer, I think it's better for the pet, I think it's better for everyone overall. So to me, the best option is for the pet to come every 4 weeks. Now you guys might say, well, I'm perfectly happy for my clients to come in every 6 or every 8. And that is a very personal choice. It's between you and your clients, you and your business. Hey Candace, great to see you live. So moving forward, why do we not want once a year pets? Hey Erin, yeah, looks like everyone's getting live. Whoop whoop. Very excited to see you all. It's always nice to have everyone live. So again, you guys might be wondering exactly what is going on in this industry that we have so many once a year clients. And the truth is that don't get mad at me, it's our fault. Now, what happens a lot of times is that instead of us just saying, I don't think so, or no, we get them in anyway. Whether it is that summer shave down, that once a year flea infested farm dog that has decided to randomly come in, or the Bichon that gets shaved. They always want them, not only do they want you to demat them, right? It's like a Bichon that comes in the week of Thanksgiving and they want you to demat the dog because they can't be embarrassed in front of their mother-in-law. They want the dog to look good. And if you shave the dog, well, then you're the problem. It's your fault, right? And I have no patience for that. It is not my responsibility to make sure that your pet is taken care of. Unless if you bring that pet to me every month, it is not my responsibility. So in your business, and again, your business is your business. I had a lot of once-a-year clients in the beginning. Why? Because I unintentionally encouraged it, right? Because what would I do? I would send a mass email before the holidays and be like, oh, does your pet need to get groomed before the holiday? Do you need this? Do you need that? And of course, he'd be like, oh yeah, I forgot. I better get Fluffy groomed. Now that marketing there is not actually helping me get regular monthly clients. Because by me also encouraging them to focus on coming in during the holidays, I am not encouraging people to make it a regular part of life. Again, it's like a nail salon that wants people to come for holidays. Like they're like, oh, come get snowmen or Christmas trees on your nails, and before Easter, do this nail art, right? Instead of being like, nope, just come every 2 weeks. It's maintenance. Is your business maintenance or is your business pampering? And again, a lot of our marketing is about pampering, is about spa, which is great. But that means that unless if the client regularly gets themselves pampered on a monthly basis, and there are lots of clients that do, right? I'm the kind of person who I'm generally getting my nails done every 2 weeks. I'm generally getting my eyelashes every 2 weeks. I'm generally in the hair salon at least once a month. I'm generally that kind of person who gets a massage every 2 to 4 weeks. And I see that as maintenance, not as pampering, but as maintenance. So ask yourself, are you accidentally encouraging once a year? If a once a year calls, are you taking them? And what do you want to do about that? Now, there's absolutely no wrong answer. We always ask ourselves questions because it's an exploratory process, right? Because you might be like, you know what, I really find those once a year husky D-sheds super satisfying. And on some level, I have to agree. There's nothing more satisfying. I think Shepherd more so than Husky, because I don't like that Huskies talk back. A lot of Shepherds talk back too. So maybe Labs. Let's go with Labs. Or Bernese Mountain Dogs. If I were to do just a bath and blow dry, but I want to do a lot of them. I just want to do like one. But they're so satisfying. It's so satisfying to take this big, burly, furry dog and make him beautiful. It's absolutely satisfying. That said, they're way more work. They don't know the rhythm. They don't understand what's happening to them. And there are a bunch of them that are really well behaved. Their clients, their owners are not, they don't appreciate us the same way we would like them to, right? Because what do? They expect to get in. They're the kind of person that will pre-book the week of Thanksgiving, the week of Christmas, and that's it, right? And where our every 4-week client is so used to just coming in every month, they're probably not booking out for the entire year. Even if they book out 2 or 3 months at a time, they're probably not booking the month of November or December until they get closer. So then we give up all those perfect spots to those once-a-year clients. And how does that make our every 4-week clients feel? And that really stinks. There's different policies you can put in place. It really depends upon what it is that you want to do in your business. I really love the idea of, so what I did in my shop, and again, my shop was not as strict as my mobile, is that if I did not see you sorry, I'm losing my voice a little bit. I'm not sick. I've just been cleaning. And because I've been cleaning, I can't. I have all the dust and everything, and my nosy is just it's just miserable, right? It's just one of those days, guys. It's all good. Candace is saying, what about charging more for non-monthly clients? So there's lots of different ways of doing it. One way that I used to do it was that I actually would tell them, if I don't see you in October, I would tell them, if I don't see you in September, I don't see you in November. If I don't see you in October, I don't see you in December. And then absolutely, Candace, I know we've talked about many times charging more for non-monthly clients. I use the example of poor Ashley because it was just a perfect example, and she's perfectly fine with me telling you guys about it. So what we ended up doing is we used the example of what she did. So we were doing a price increase for her business. She's mobile and only does dogs under 25 pounds. So what we ended up saying is okay, here is a 4-week Maltese. If you come in every 4 weeks, it's $100. And then my suggestion was, okay, so it's 4 weeks, it's 100. At 6 weeks, it's 150. And then at 8 weeks, it's 200. And then anything beyond that would be a consultation groom. And it's a separate charge, right? Because you're basically a new client if I haven't seen you in 2 months, which is pretty true. You know, I mean, if you're only coming in my establishment at best 6 times a year versus the 4 week is coming 13 times, that's a huge difference. That client is coming in less than half. So that was my suggestion, 100, 150, 200. Now, some of us are like, that's outrageous, that's ridiculous, that's not fair, Well, a lot of times our pricing needs to create behavior. If I want everyone on a 4-week schedule, I need to make it palatable to go on a 4-week schedule. So what did she do? She said, I can't do that. I don't feel good. I can't do that. I said, okay, so what would you like to do? She's like, well, I'd like to do 100, 120, 150. So that's $100 for 4 weeks, 120 for 6, and 150 for 8. Well, what do you guys think everybody went on? Everyone ended up on a 6-week schedule because a 6-week schedule saved them money. Right? So what did that do? Then she had to call everyone and get them say, I'm so sorry, I had a typing error. It's actually 150 for 6 weeks. Then all of a sudden everyone went up 4 weeks. So that's on the lower level. On the higher level, you can do things a little more simply. So a good example would be, let's say matting. In my mobile, what I did was, and for those of you guys that don't know, I owned a Feeling exclusive mobile business. And what I ended up doing is I ended up so my bath price for a cat was $100. A comb cut, which is what I preferred to do, was $145. And that was a comb cut with a bath. A line cut, and we would call it an elective line cut, which means you choose to get that line cut, was $200. And then a matted line cut started at $300. Now, why did I do this? Because at $300 versus $100, that's, again, it's 50% more, and it's $200 more than just getting your cat bathed. Now, if that's not enough to deter them, the next thing we do is if your cat comes back and it's matted again, then I am going to charge you double. So the first time we're going to give you benefit of the doubt, you didn't understand matting, you didn't understand what was going on, I'm going to let that go, right? I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt because that's what I would want, right? I still have to charge you because it's more dangerous for me, it's more dangerous for the cat, takes more time and more skill. So unfortunately, I have to charge you more. However, the next time it comes, it's double. So instead of $300, it's $600. Why? Because you knew better and you are now willfully neglecting your pet. And then if it happens a third time, now it is $900. And believe it or not, I've had several people do the $600 and the $900 groom. And a lot of them think that I'm faking it. And I tell them flat out, go to somebody else. If you want me to do it, I will do it. But then they realize they could have had 9 months worth of bath and blow dries for that one appointment. And it's not worth it to them. Either they go and find somebody else who's going to be willing to engage in willful neglect, which I am not, or they're going to get on a regular schedule. And eventually I had everyone on a regular schedule. So it doesn't even matter in the end, right, guys? So Alan is saying, I charge people more if they look at me funny. I'm joking. It makes sense to me. Listen, my dad used to call it stupid tax. He owned a appliance repair business. And if people, now he didn't like dogs, ironically, but like if people would let the dogs, like when he's in your dishwasher, come over and like jump all over him or sniff his crotch, he would add tax to that. He would add tax for people that would ask stupid questions, not like reasonable questions, but just like really rude questions. Like, did you like drop out of college and this is why you're doing things like that? Like just rude questions. And so he'd be like, yep, there's like that. Shelly's saying, Shelly and new bather Doug are listening and working. And, oh, I'm so glad you guys are listening. Welcome. Thank you for being live with me. And Rin saying, that's so smart. So charge double if they go 8 weeks and make it be fair to the 4-week client. Yeah, I think what's interesting is that we're so worried about being fair to the people that are not our ideal clients. For those of you guys that this is your first time listening to the Savvy Groomer, first of all, sorry about the background. It is what it is. It'll get prettier as we go forward. You know, sometimes things just look like this. But we want to make sure that we are treating the people that deserve our kindness the best. Because we're so worried about being fair to the 8-week people that we don't think about what's fair to the 4-week people, right? If I'm a 4-week person, I'm the one that keeps your business going. You know, I'm coming to your business 12 to 13 times a year. I'm the person probably tipping you around Christmas. I'm the person telling my friends and family, and I'm telling my friends and family that I think would actually honor and respect you, right? Because I don't want to have you, if I am coming in every month, then I value my pet being clean. I value those things. And so as I'm moving forward, I'm not going to have my friend with the like matted, flea-infested doodle coming to the shop because I would be embarrassed to have that client, right? That's how I would feel. So how can we support the every 4 weeks? That way, these once-a-year people, we can say, I don't think so, right? And again, by us allowing these people to do these things, we are let me put this away. So I use the dating analogy all the time, guys. I think that's Kristen. Do you always bathe cats? Every single cat that I groom gets a bath. Yep. I've never had a cat I couldn't bathe. I have had cats that I said this cat is not a candidate for shaving. Like my cat is barely a candidate for shaving because he's a little shit. He's been being used as a practice cat for my mom so she could practice her line cuts. He's not perfect, but he's doing pretty well. But yes, every single cat should be bathed and blow dried. Absolutely. And if you don't know how to do that, check out the National Cat Groomers Institute. Melissa Hall, Lynn Pelillo, Jackie Opp, just to name a few certifiers around the country that can do hands-on. They're amazing. They can absolutely teach you more. But going forward to once-a-year pets. Oh, she's saying, I just hear some groomers don't bathe. Well, and this is a quick aside, guys. If I said to you, I shave a Sheltie and I didn't bathe it, you'd be so confused. You'd be like, I don't understand. You just shaved it? I'd be like, yeah, the owner didn't want a bath. You'd be like, that's so unprofessional. Or yeah, I just shaved that Golden. Or yeah, I just shaved the Shih Tzu. And then I got him wet and then I put him in a cage bank. Right? Or I just shaved this Yorkie. I can't do really well because he's like crazy. And then I used wet wipes. I just wiped him down with bath wipes. Now he's clean, right? You'd be like, no, and that looks like crap. And that's very unprofessional. And again, some people in this industry, what they will accept for dogs is so not what it's so interesting. It's like cats get the shit end of the stick, you know, and they'll be like, cats don't need to be bathed. I'm like, I don't need to wash my hair, but if I don't, it's unhygienic. Cats cover themselves in spit, guys. It's gross. My cat gets a bath at least once a month because he licks himself and he has hair and it's gross. Just like my dog. My dog licks herself and she goes outside, which is even grosser. So that's where we've got to constantly be making evaluations as an industry, right? So no, I don't. I would not consider somebody who doesn't bathe dogs but shaves them a professional groomer. Therefore, I don't believe somebody who just shaves cats and doesn't bathe them is a professional cat groomer. Because again, guys, if I said I just shave doodles and I don't bathe them, you'd be like, you're not a professional groomer. You're not a professional dog groomer. You're just a dog shaver. And that's very different. Going back to our once-a-year pets, we set the limits. We tell them yes or no, right? If you think somebody is going to not be a long-term asset to your business, you have every right to say no. I want you guys to think of it like this. We use the example of the soulmate clients. We have 3 levels. We have the soulmate client. When they meet you, they're like, oh my God, yes, I've been looking for someone just like you, someone with your skill set, somebody who, says the right things, does the right things. Like when people met me as a cat groomer, like, oh my God, finally someone who understands cat behavior and grooms them and does all of that. It makes so much sense. So, that's where we've got all that. Then we have soulmate client. And then next we have our ideal client. And the way I would explain it is like, it's the kind of person you date, but you don't know if you want to marry, right? If you were a soulmate person that you met, and it's love at first sight and everything is perfect. Come on, you. And you're like, yes, this person is exactly who I want. It's everything I wanted. And then ideal is like you go on a date and you're like, wow, they have a lot of the qualities I would like. I don't know if they're the one, but we like the same music and we like the same things. And I really enjoy their time. So for me, a soulmate client is somebody who wants to be groomed every 4 weeks and they're happy to pay my prices. My ideal client might be somebody who needs to be, groomed, if you will, taught how to become that soulmate client. So they might need leverage to then make the right decision. If you've been dating and I've been single now for 3 years, it's kind of like a situation where you would be, how to explain this? So like if you're going on a date with somebody and like I'm bougie, those that love me and know I'm bougie. And if they were like, I would like to take you to McDonald's. And I'd be like, I don't even take me to McDonald's. Maybe Chick-fil-A, but not McDonald's. So I want to go to a nice restaurant. I want to go to a restaurant that I want to go to. And then I would be happy to see you. And if they don't want to do that, then, and I've had this happen. And again, it sounds really bougie. It sounds really unreasonable, but it's a boundary issue because I'm not willing to lower my standards for somebody because I want them to have the same standards as me. And we do this with our clients as well, right? So it would be like your client saying, I really need a Saturday. And you say, well, I don't offer Saturdays. And they might say, but I really need a Saturday. And then you set the boundary again and I can do Friday at 4. And that's one of your regular times. And then they have a choice of either going with you and doing what you need them to do or not. And we do this again all the time in relationships. And it's all about finding that healthy boundary in between. And then we have our fling clients. And these are our once a year, twice a year clients, right? These once a year, twice a year clients. And these clients are the kind of people that you meet and they are the McDonald's guys. They are what I call the hot pocket guys, the guys that, you don't want to date. If you're feeling bad about yourself and you want someone to tell you you're pretty, you might go on a date with them. And every time you go on a date with them, you're like, why did I do this? That's the same person that calls at noon on a Saturday and asks for a bath. They come in and it's a pelted dog or a dog with fleas or God knows what, and they don't tip, right? That's the same person. So I want you to consider who this person is in your business. For me, being a higher end business, my business, I only wanted soulmate clients because I had a very finite amount of spaces. I really only had 100 spaces to do this. So I can't waste my time on even a lot of ideals and I have no time for flings. When I had my shop, because I had 5 employees and we did 40 dogs a day, we had lots of soulmate clients. We had lots of ideal clients. And it took me a long time to realize that these fling clients were no good for me. And taking that time really allows it to change that. And going back to the shavers versus the groomers, we have Alan saying the definition entails caring for the dog's skin and coat. Shaving is more of a stylist thing. I'm not going to split hairs. As far as some people want to be called a pet stylist. Some people want to be called a pet groomer. Some people want to be called, now there's a canine esthetician. Again, for, whether it's a groomer or a stylist, I think that they're interchangeable terms. What I will say is that a cat groomer bathes, blow dries, they care for the skin and coat. So if I'm a cat groomer, and that's what I am, I take care of the cat's skin and coat. I can't, there's no amount of magic powder or overpriced baby wipes that are going to get a cat clean. That's just not how it works. If that worked, the people in the show ring who show these cats and sometimes wash a Persian 3 times a week in full coat would definitely use those products, but they don't. So, I know, he's so cute. He's just looking at me like, what is your problem, lady? And so if that's it, though, finding those soulmate clients and not accepting these once a year. And if you are like, okay, well, I could really use some help on how to deal with these once a year clients, like what do I do in my business? I want to invite you guys to go ahead and join my business membership if you have not already. We're actually going to be doing a 1-hour workshop called Once a Year Clients on August 12th at noon Eastern. So just in a few days this week on Thursday, we're going to be doing a 1-hour workshop where we're going to be talking about what is a once a year more in depth, how do we deal with them, or potentially how do we eradicate them from our business. So I'd really love to see you guys join that. I really think that this is so important to talk about. What's wonderful about joining the Savvy Groomer business membership is it is only $35 a month, and you get the entire library of other workshops in there. We have so many different business workshops, including how to do bookkeeping, customer service, how to schedule your tasks, and lots more from that. All right, so we also see, agreed, every so often dog owners will say, I don't have to bathe the dog if it's cheaper. And I'm like, nope, fur has to be clean for it to come out right. A lot of cat groomers I know, we will say things very matter-of-factly, like, okay, it's the same if we bathe it or if we don't bathe it. And then people will be like, okay, well, then you might as well bathe the cat or the dog, right? And I think that it's a little ridiculous that we would even give customers an option or let customers think that they can have an option. We're the professional, and I can say things like, I don't want this on my hair to the hairdresser, and then she has the opportunity to educate me and explain to me why I'm wrong and how to best do that, right? Because ultimately, I don't know what these things are. I had this a very similar conversation with a woman who's helping me with my YouTube. I don't know a lot about YouTube, but I was like, oh, I want this. And she said, well, actually, this, and this. And I said, oh, that makes so much sense. And by the way, if you guys are watching this, please, 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 guys, go to the YouTube and click subscribe. We are less than 40 people away from being able to monetize this channel. And you have no idea how much I would really appreciate it if we could monetize this channel. My goal is to be able to create more free content for you guys. Once we have 1,000 subscribers, we will be able to monetize this, which means that I will be able to go live here twice a week. And I would really love to be able to do that for you guys. But in order for me to do that for you guys, I'm going to need you guys to go ahead and subscribe. And don't be afraid either to hit that like button. Did you guys know that 95% of the people that watch this video will not either hit the like or the dislike button? That's kind of harsh. I love you guys. I'm here for you. Help me out. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, that was what today's topic is all about. Once a year, I don't think so. And remember, no is a complete sentence. Referring them to Petco's or PetSmart is not a bad idea. Telling them that, you only have space for clients that commit to a maintenance schedule, and you define a maintenance schedule as X. That's what I would tell people. I'd be like, just so you're aware, we only take on new clients that are willing to commit to a maintenance schedule. We define a maintenance schedule as 4 weeks or less. And that's where I like consultation grooms. A consultation groom is the most expensive groom they will have. And then from there, it's almost like hey, it's going to cost you, let's say $100 for this groom, but the next time you come in 4 weeks, we're going to only charge you $85, right? So it's a little bit higher. And if they say, no, I'm happy to go every 8 weeks, then you know that you've got to shift your money. And I'm a big fan of being like, if you're not willing to commit to the 4-week schedule and having my prices high enough, I like that business model. There are lots of business models, those guys. We talk about the Starbucks, the Dunkin' Donuts, and the McDonald's coffee, right? $1 coffee is the Walmart of the grooming industry. You may even be a good groomer, but you do a lot of, and you're not worried about quality. If someone were to come in and say, hey, I didn't like this haircut, be like, just be grateful your dog was even groomed. Or really lousy customer service, or you're just doing so much quantity that you just don't have time to deal with people. And we have our Dunkin' Donuts where they're still doing a lot of volume, but if you come back, they're not going to be happy, but they're going to fix the haircut. Or, they're going to have regulars. Most shops that are like 6 or 8 week shops tend to be that more Dunkin' Donuts style coffee grooming shop. And you got your Starbucks. Your Starbucks people are religiously people. For me, I waited in line over an hour during the pandemic to get my Starbucks. There were 2 Dunkin' Donuts I passed that had no line, and yet I still drove 20 minutes out of the way for the only Starbucks open and waited in line for an hour. Why? Because that's the type of loyalty that people have. And that's the kind of people that are in my business. I mean, if you talk to people like Quincy, she has her clients book out for a year. She literally posts, hey, we have to book everyone for the year. And most people within 24 hours go ahead and book for the entire year. So there are ways of building those businesses. It's about building that business around what you want, right? What do you want in your business? How do you want this to look? How do you want this to be, right? All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for being here. This was our once a year, I don't think so, episode. And I love this girl. She's like, no, I wish I had that face. That is like a resting bitch face. Like, I don't even think I can create. I could try, but I don't think it would work. And like I said, please feel free to join our Savvy Groomer business membership. All you've got to go is savvygroomer.com/GWG for Grow Wealthy Grooming. And if you guys are interested and you're looking for more support, feel free to join our free Facebook group. Whoop. If I can get out of this, Jeepers Crow. Join our free Facebook group, Savvy Pet Professionals. There you can network with other like-minded groomers. You can get to, spend more time with us. Quincy and I spend a decent amount of time in that free Facebook group, talking and interacting to everyone there. It's really nice to see you all and get to know you. I really enjoy it. And like I said, as we get closer to the YouTube channel getting monetized, I'm really excited because that will allow us to finally be able to add that second hour a week. Because I love you all, but girl's a business here. And she can't be on here 2 hours a week until it's monetized. That was the deal, guys. Like, subscribe. All right, guys. So it's been so awesome seeing you guys here. I do have to hop off and prep for my price increase masterclass. Lots going on there. Oh, Gabriel saying he's Brazilian. Welcome. And for anyone new here, I want to thank you for watching with us and enjoying. It's always awesome to have you guys hang out with me live if you're on YouTube. And I'll check the Facebook comments after I hop off. All right, guys. So as always, have a great night and happy grooming.